exactly. I've never liked them because of that. For me,
they actually finish careers of players.
I hate injustice. So in Spain, they used to. So people who used to go to Catalonia and Barcelona, the Nou Camp, this is where they say more than a club. That was the place where they found comfort from the oppressors, the whites of Real Madrid. So
it was the Spanish government.
For comfort. When they go in there, this is why Barcelona is called more than
a club,
because Real Madrid really was a club for the oppressors. So for me, I don't stand with the oppressors.
You would be interested then to know the history of Manchester United and Liverpool.
Yeah, please tell him.
Slave trade.
Yeah, please tell him. Tell him from this. Maps, don't fear.
Anyway, it's something we can discuss.
He might as well have no club to support.
Maybe I told you, because by the time I became cautious now in terms of watching football, I've told you, in 1987, Sir Alex Ferguson, the first signing that he made was a black guy. Do you know the name?
Mm-hmm. Tell us the name.
It's a guy called Viv Anderson.
Viv Anderson.
Yes, he was a black guy. And so those days I used to love Everton because it was a big league soccer, you remember? And Everton used to give Liverpool a lot of
hell.
You understand? So when I saw Manchester United bringing in blacks, then Manchester started dominate Manchester, Andy Cole, Dwight York, I said, of course at Liverpool was John Barnes at the time watching. But Liverpool was so dominant. So for me, they were the oppressors in the English league because of being so dominant. So I was siding with the underdogs in Everton. So when I saw somebody come and say, we have come to knock Liverpool off there, I said, I'm going to side with this guy. And then the moment you brought the black guy, we were young. South Ugandans are beyond our nose when we were young. You know what I mean? So when he dominated, and so my love for Manchester United, even if you tell me Vinangogo, but in Spain, that's come a history of oppressing one. I don't support Barcelona either, but I don't think I would ever love Real Madrid.
Impressive.
Number two.
Number two.
Mnawina Europa?
Still win.
Mnafika mnaonwa?
Semi-final. Mwa Champions League.
So
nanga Man United nafika number 10.
So mnapitia kwa kumusha trophy so mwanze kutali. At least we went na kumusha
ngatenze kutali at least we by Chiranga. Man U kupemba kapenda kuchisekesi. The Champions League,
not Real Madrid. Because Manchester United, and I even told you, I said it's a blessing in disguise that Manchester United have dropped off into the Europa League. The only bad thing is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still looking for his first trophy as Manchester United manager. And
there's no trophy for second place.
Let me tell you, there's no trophy. And I've been joking around about vice champion. There's nothing like that, but we must be creative. To continue living, you have to be creative. So I agree with you. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not win anything next season, trust me.
Muzampisha.
If Chris Takachiko on the finish taken.
Anyway, we're coming. We're just catching a breather because the Algerian has a brand on the market. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. The brand is called Elohim. All right. I hope it can be picked up. Good. Yeah, this is a hoodie.
Awesome.
All right. It's called Elohim. And then Elohim simply means God over power and might. Isn't that so, Zamjirian? Tell us a little bit more about this merchandise, which is spiritually uplifting in as much as it's keeping us warm, so to say. So you have hoodies, you have T-shirts, and what else do you have?
We have hats, we have caps.
Okay.
We're trying to go into the full thing. Basically, the brand itself is called
You can come a bit closer.
It's called YA. It was the name of my mother, who was a philanthropist, to say the least.
So these are initials YA.
Yes, those are
Tell us her name.
Our initials. Yemisi Adeloye.
Wow. Okay. Yemisi Adeloye.
Yeah, so she was
Yemisi
someone who
Adeloye.
loved
Oh, Yemisi Adeloye. Okay.
and always did well, with kids, with families.
Mhm.
And I thought of, making a brand. And the first thing that came to my mind was, why not with her? Now, the first thing I realized is in Christendom,
Mhm.
when somebody dies because she's late,
Mhm.
you don't say the person died.
Mhm.
It's a seed that was sown.
Yeah.
And everybody who buys a YA shirt
Mhm.
is ripping also what she stood for,
Mhm.
which is being good to people,
Mhm.
showing love, and most importantly, being Jesus Christ.
Mm.
And we want to know that the name of Christ is Elohim.
Mhm.
And that's the name I want to trend in Zambia right now.
Elohim.
We don't know the best candidate to this coming election.
Uh-huh.
We know that anybody who supports Christ Jesus,
Uh-huh.
He's our candidate.
is always on the right part.
That's right.
So we
Nice.
need to make sure that we push out Elohim this season and make sure that it continues to trend through the ranks and worldwide by the grace of God.
Inspirational Zamzirians.
So everybody
Inspirational.
here is going to get one. They're going to buy from but on the social media platforms, please.
Yeah.
Let this go viral, everybody.
Uh-huh.
Wherever you are, you can also get supplies. Lorenzo will leave the number that you could call or text and an email address as well. You can always.
No, that's fine. You can give out the number through which they can call to get a T-shirt
All right, to get the t-shirt,
and a hoodie.
you need to call 096 22 94 215. I repeat that 096 22 94 215.
Excellent.
Your Elohim hoodie and t-shirts and make sure that this is beaming around the country.
Awesome. Great stuff. Now we start with you with the UEFA Europa League. All right. Final. Villarreal against Manchester United. I know you were optimistic that you'd beat Villarreal, but for some reason, Gerard Moreno had different ideas when he actually poked home the lead. Okay. Before Edinson Cavani, El Matador, as Mfundis would call him, levered matters.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be. In as much as United fared pretty much well in terms of the penalty shootout, but De Gea definitely had to remember where he comes from, which is the Iberian Peninsula. And he fluffed his chance, and then, that is what handed Villarreal the title, much to the disbelief, and obliteration of the match advancing. Manchester United. Okay,
So I was speaking about my brand and he was in love. Now we talk about my United. It's the maximum violence. All right. So what we need to understand is Villarreal kind of showed us our flaws, which was number one, our bench. Man United. We need to understand finals also depend highly on momentum. When Man United started, pushing back and scored a goal through Cavani, who has been absolutely amazing this season, the momentum shifted back to United. But one of the flaws we need to start with is our set-piece play. Even with Maguire, one goal that we always concede this season, or we have always conceded this season, is from set pieces. And we have tall and strong defenders. I have no understanding why this is so. Secondly, I agree that we kind of underestimated them because anybody who watched Villarreal play all the way to the final, you would have known that Moreno is a threat. Moreno was called up for Spain for a reason from a side that is 7th place in the league. And he will be one of the starters, trust me, on the Spanish side come this Euros. You had, tricky players with a lot of experience like Carlos Bacca, who also gave our defensive form a lot of problems. And, you could just see that Man United were out of sorts. When we get to this high pressure moment, it's like these guys don't know what to do again. And I would not put the blame on Solskjaer completely because, I think he put out the best team to win. You had Pogba, you had McTominay, who, like Mapolo said, went to bring back the times of Zidane and Real Madrid and Juventus and really showed out, but nobody else. Bruno Fernandes, who was given the captain armband, was extremely disappointing to me. He should have done way better. You know that you're the captain, you have the chance to lift the first trophy in 4 years, and then you put in that kind of performance. If McTominay outperforms you as Man United player of the league, you should take a hard look at yourself. And for us to go to penalties, Solskjaer had a lot of changes to make. I mean, there were 5 changes that Villarreal made completely. You know that we're about to enter penalties, and one thing we realize as Man United fans, we cannot trust the hair when it comes to penalties. You let Villarreal, the only highlights that we saw of Villarreal before the game was them training for penalties. We get to penalties, and we see the hair concede 11 penalties and miss one. This was no surprise.
That's disastrous.
This was no surprise to any Man United fan who knows the pedigree of the strengths and weaknesses of David De Gea. And to see him miss the penalty after their goalkeeper absolutely rockets in to the corners of the post, it was very disappointing. And all I could say, honestly, is big congratulations to Villarreal. And I want Kane, Sancho. This is the only way I'll be happy. Go buy me Kane. Go bring me Sancho. Go bring me Koulibaly. Stack Man United squad, because we see that at least we are good to challenge and make sure that next season doesn't repeat this season, basically.
Wow. All right, young Maps, and then we'll get to Andre and Mfundisi as well, just to come in that order. What did you make of that final? You were confident that United would come back into this game, but it wasn't to be. Well, I told you, not against Villarreal. All right, but what really happened?
Honestly,
Absolutely.
It was all to do with mentality. One team was there to play a final. One team came out to play with their heart, whether it's in attacking or defending. We could see the tactics. Unai, as Emmanuel said, they were training these penalties, and you could see how well taken they were. So one team was defending and playing for penalties, and the other got into the game a little bit complacent. You've got legends like Posco is saying they're 7th placed in a terrible La Liga, where Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico not really, stamping their mark on Europe. And he's saying they're a 7th place team in a poor La Liga. Man United should be
comfortably win this one.
They should comfortably win this game.
I suppose that was the confidence Mfundisi had too.
Yeah, I guess it's true. It was disappointing. Marcus Rashford failed to impose himself. Interviewing Etienne Capoue after the game, got relegated with Watford, but here he is. He's now a European champion. Etienne Capoue said, we had one tactic, or the manager told me to do one thing, which was to stop Bruno Fernandes. And you could see exactly how they managed to do that. They managed to stifle his movement. He gave away the ball a record 17 times in the final. So it was really difficult for Manchester United fans. I know the feeling of losing to Unai Emery in a Europa League final. He made us cry. That was 5 years ago as well. He made us cry. So it's really unfortunate, but the best you can do is not feel sorry for yourselves after such a devastating loss. The best you can do is rise from it, rise above it, come back stronger, make the signings. It's been clear for years now that Manchester United need a defender, they need a right-sided winger, they need a striker, a formidable one, Haaland, Kane. They need a defensive midfielder, a solid defensive sitting midfielder who can do a fantastic job in both tracking runners down and distributing the ball to the likes of Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. So it's really unfortunate. I had my laugh because, Man United fans, they came at me so much in the fortnight where we were 8th on the table. During the fortnight, they came at me so much. Enjoy Europa League. Enjoy. You see us winning a trophy and you guys are going trophyless. So, yes, I did have the last laugh.
Steven.
Yeah, I had the last laugh because we ended the season brilliantly. They did finish 5 points ahead of us, but at the end, it just felt like bittersweet and, well, more on the sweet side.
All right, we've been joined by Jerry via Zoom. Jerry, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Lorenzo. How are you? Good afternoon to the listeners out there.
Sorry, repeat your greeting, Jerry.
I was saying, how are you doing, Lorenzo, and the rest of the panelists? And good afternoon to the listeners out there.
We're doing very well. Doing very well. I'll be coming to you in just a moment as we look back at the Europa League final and look up to the UEFA Champions League final. This is what sums up the second hour today. But before you come in, Andrew, Mfundisi, I like the points that Maps has highlighted. He's given you an idea of what players you need to sign.
Do you have much time for us to start talking about a nondescript?
It's now nondescript.
I mean, look.
So losers.
It's a Europa League. Nobody watches it. Why do you want to spend so much time on it?
No one watches it.
No, how many people really watch it here in Zambia? You have to go on your phone, and if your screen is cracked like mine, that is why I told you that I didn't even watch. I only heard the result. Then I watched much later. I think was it yesterday or the other day, and I decried the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not make timely interventions in terms of substitutions. He spoke about wanting to change David De Gea. By the way, I was wishing at that particular time that September 1st, 2015 should have turned out the other way, where Kanabaka Jama Kandanga typewriter kama Real Madrid. They were about to send transfer confirmation of the switch of David De Gea to Santiago Bernabeu. At the time, David De Gea was can't go in. Then they sent it 24 minutes after. That was 1st September 2015. So maybe if that deal had gone through, Keylor Navas would have come to Manchester United. Maybe would have been told us run away from the job. You understand? We would not have this issue of talking about David De Gea missing a penalty in that marathon shootout. Obviously, Villarreal got in front, then Edinson Cavani, this is why he has signed on for another year, at Manchester United, another season. Then they came back, United 1-1. Then it went to penalties. It was a marathon, penalty shootout. And that's anybody's game, really. Sir Alex Ferguson was there at the end of the day when De Gea missed his penalty. The hand over there. But the manager should not have allowed the game to go, to penalties. He had a lot
he had a flurry of chances.
Yeah, before you even talk about
the second half.
Before you even talk about signings, they brought in Donny van de Beek. 40 million pounds. He is on the bench.
Yeah, he's not being.
You are looking to freshen up the team. You are not making those necessary. This guy has received the yellow card in the first half. If he's not substituted, this is going to change. This is going to change the course of Manchester United's Champions League
and run. Then he was left to play.
Exactly, and he was red carded, and from there we capitulated, and they were out of the Champions League. So the manager is lacking key, decisive moments where he doesn't show up. He goes missing. It's like Utamba Chata to next. You understand? And this is what he did again in this particular final. So, yes, you might want to bring in a hurricane, as is being suggested, but make no mistake about it. Daniel Levy is a shrewd, to borrow that word again, which he had been using earlier, competitor and negotiator. Already they have been infuriated by Ken saying that he wants to leave, former White Hart Lane. Now it's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He says that he wants to leave. And then if he's going to leave, I don't think that Levy will allow him to leave for less than 150 million pounds.
200 million.
Exactly. So it's even gone up. But Nanzi not going on now somewhere. But Nanzi video saw those pictures. Now can pesa mkengo enda pamamba already. Now wakwe to 200 million. Now maybe Jordan Sancho might be an alternative, but it still doesn't change the fact that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to be more decisive in these key games. And I think that United's season, really, towards the end of the season, the form deserted them. And you looked at how they performed, at home, losing twice, and they did finish second, which is an improvement on last season. And this is why probably people are prepared to give him a bit more time because they have improved Manchester United. But getting to the final against the team, number 7. And Kurima team number 2, my coach Vatala. then you fail to win. Really. Number 2 coach attack.
The number 1 coach.
The number 1 coach attack. But let's keep it Spain. Guys, number 7.
I'm happy how football changes minds.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, I think Villarreal were deserved champions. Unai Emery. Normally I say Emery, but Emery, was discarded by the Arsenal. But look at what he has done. So this is why we say that sometimes you need to give these coaches a bit more time. So Spanish football, massive congratulations. The people who were opining for more foreign players in the Zambian league, there you have your example. Manchester United with so many foreign players, but failing to beat a Villarreal who has more Spanish players than
Just 3 foreign players.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Repeat.
3.
How many?
3.
Then beat Manchester United with how many? Almost the entire, with a few. So we've always
United Nations.
Exactly.
And their best player was on the bench, or was injured for the match.
Exactly. So 3 foreign players. So when we say that there's a foreign quota, system in the Zambian league, this is what we're talking about. It doesn't necessarily correlate that if you have so many foreign players, then to give you success. Manchester United, almost the entire first 11. Mungapendeche, maybe 3. Bakumanja. But Villarreal, only 3 foreign players. Now we are saluting them as the Europa League champions. Well done.
All right, Andrew, before you come in, the gentlemen via Zoom there are burning data, so let's have them come in. Chair, welcome to the program.
Watika kuwaya.
Sindine. Atumachedwa kubwera.
Tachedwa kubwera ka.
My apologies for the choir.
At least itafikako.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen. I won't let you really waste time to talk about a beaten United side. So, all right, we need to make progress.
Okay, give them another challenge, Lorenzo. Give them another challenge as you are asking them questions. As you are listening, we invite them to join our Jerry in our chair. I've just received a message. This one is sweet from Oscar Ferreni-Mansa. Says, Wamuzo, I have a new baby girl. I want you to give her the name right now on Backpage.
Yeah. Let's start with you, Jay.
Baby girl. So also we are delighted. My guys was a gun is our Jerry and the rest, and then we'll pick on one.
Oh yeah,
Christabel.
Christabel. Okay, give us a reason for that.
And give us a reason, Jerry.
Because she's beautiful, so she will have to go by the name of Christabel.
Jerry, give us a name. Jerry, what's your suggested name?
Lorenzo, I don't have any name right now. Deserve of the parents.
He's still thinking. Yeah?
He's still thinking.
He's a very thoughtful man.
All right.
We'll get the names and we'll advise.
We'll get the names.
Thank you very much for the honor of Oscar Ferreni-Mansa.
Deserve of the parents.
Okay. Jerry, I thought you would suggest like the girl should become Tinta. You know what I mean, eh?
Oh.
All right, but anyway.
We'll get feedback next week what the name will be. We'll get feedback what we'll decide on. Huh?
Okay. All right, but let's start with you, Jerry. All right. Chelsea versus Manchester City. Chair also coming in that order, and then the other members of the panel will chip in. What a game we have. It's an all-English final. I know everyone in the studio is excited about that, except myself, of course. But let's start with you, Jerry. All right, it's an all-English final. Thomas Tuchel against Pep Guardiola. Who do you think will outsmart the other in tonight's final? Let's start with you, Jerry, then we'll move on to Chair.
Okay, Lorenzo, you're right. It's an all-English final. I think the balance has shifted from La Liga, which was touted as the best league, but now it's looking like the balance of power has shifted to the English league, whereby you're having two teams from the same league making it into the final. I think is it the second time in 3 seasons where you find Manchester City are playing Chelsea after Liverpool had played Tottenham a couple of seasons ago. So the way it's looking like the odds are against Chelsea. I just feel that, look, for Man City, that's the only trophy they've really been praying for, hoping to get to the final side. They have this shot. They've been falling by the wayside, failing to get even to the semi-finals. But they got there once and they were defeated. They would fall off by the quarterfinals and so on. So this time they're in the final, and they really want to make sure that they get the trophy with the big ears. Like I said, I think the odds are against Chelsea because, look, I think they've beaten Man City twice in the last 2 games that they've played. One in the FA Cup and then again in the league. So it's unlikely that they'll do it for a 3rd time. I don't know. Maybe Thomas Tuchel will just pull a rabbit out of the hat. But Man City, I'm sure, are pulling out all the stops. Guardiola wants to win the Champions League again because, look, he was failing to win it after leaving Barcelona. He moved to Bayern, couldn't win it. Man City has been struggling, but they have a chance. So the way I see it, probably Man City are the favorite to lift the trophy with a big step. I think they won't leave any stone unturned.
Okay, so Man City favorites.
Sorry?
So Man City are favorites in your opinion?
In my opinion, yeah. Chelsea won't go there to just lie down, but odds slightly against them because look at their league form towards the end of the season. They sort of fell off the pace. I think they even lost their last game against Aston Villa. Not a very good send-off, not very good preparation for the Champions League final. In fact, they even lost the FA Cup to Leicester City. So they rebounded and they beat Leicester City in the league. And they managed to sneak into the top 4, courtesy of Tottenham Hotspur, their London rivals, helping them out by beating Leicester. So that's how Chelsea ended up in the Champions League for next season. So they've got it all to do. But who knows? Thomas Tuchel, quite good in tactics. Maybe just bring a surprise and have the last laugh after all.
Okay. All right, Chair. You're looking good in that Man United replica.
Wow, so Chair has a United
Thank you. We never give up, you know. Yeah, because you see, for Manchester United, regardless of where we are, we're still a talking point. You remember even when we had difficult times sitting on number 8 thereabout, we were still a talking point. Sitting on 2nd, we are still a talking point. But however, now is the Champions League final, Chelsea up against Manchester City. You know, there's something that tells me, inside me that it could be Chelsea's year and Chelsea could be able to win it. I know player for player, Manchester City are great. When you look at Foden, Sterling, Aguero, you talk of Jesus, De Bruyne, you can be able to name them, the Fernandinhos of this world. They look great, that they can be able to, roll over Chelsea. But when you look at Chelsea, I think there's something that they can be able to bring on the table. Remember when they played in the league, Chelsea was able to win 2-1. That shows you that they can be able to hold their own. You look at ZH, Havertz, those guys, Odoi, Rudiger. They are the guys that I should be able to bank on, in terms of winning it for Chelsea. When you look at Thomas Tuchel, he's, when he came, he wasn't heralded as somebody that would be able to, change the complex of Chelsea. But there we are. We've seen what he's done. He's won as many games as possible. He's now into the, to the final of the Champions League with only 90 minutes remaining for him to be crowned champion. So I believe that my take is that he has what it takes for them, for Chelsea to be able to win it. So my money is on Chelsea. I am not too sure whether it will be in the duration of 90 minutes or it could be post-match penalties. But my money is on Chelsea. I believe that they'll be able to get it. N'Golo Conte has since recovered. He's trained yesterday. You talk of Mendy, the goalkeeper, the Senegalese goalkeeper, is also great. Awesome, absolutely awesome. So in defense, in goal, they are covered. You look at midfield, N'Golo Conte, what he can be able to do to bring on the table. The Frenchman is great. So really, my money is on Chelsea.
Okay, awesome. I was waiting for you, Chair, to say over and above. Able to.
You know what? Pasa kwa ya nyowan.
Can be able to.
You know what? Pasa kwa ya nyowan. Kwaje? Awesome. Uchipatana.
Absolutely.
Pasa kwa ya nyowan.
Awesome.
Can be able.
Can be able.
Where is Jerry the researcher?
Awesome. All right, now Andrew, you are one person that Guardiola has never convinced you to be a good coach. Eh? He's in the final, on the verge of winning it. All right. How painful is it for you to put your money on Guardiola beating Thomas Tuchel?
Pain? What kind of pain? He's representing the blue side of Manchester. Why should I feel bad? I mean, he's trying.
No, feel bad in that he's not a coach that you rate.
No. He's busy trying to impress me. How should I feel bad? How? I mean, I am happy. I am happy for him.
Okay.
And it's good to see that.
Is he a good manager or not?
Yeah, that's
no. He hasn't impressed me yet. He's still working.
How many Premier League titles?
Oh yeah.
What do you want to be impressed by?
3.
The social impressive.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
No, not yet. Yeah. you know my point, Zamjirian.
Yeah.
My point is, this is a guy who wins titles by going shopping.
Yeah.
Right? Shopping for talent all over. Can't he identify talent and go? Yes, that's my point.
We'll talk about that one later.
Yeah. But I mean,
So you tip him to win tonight?
He's done extremely well in the Champions League. At some point, he wasn't doing so well in the EPL, but in the Champions League, he was very consistent, which has made him to go all the way. Today, he's in the final and hoping to win it. But Chelsea has played very well also. With the coming in of Thomas, Chelsea is totally different. They are not the Chelsea, the Chelsea that started the league, blowing, hot and cold. But with the coming in of Thomas, Chelsea has been consistent. Frank Lampard laid a very good foundation, got very, very good talent on his side. And what Thomas has done is simply to place these young lads in their rightful positions, and they are able to deliver. So it's going to be a very interesting encounter. So far, Chelsea looks to have a slight advantage in that in the last 2 encounters, Chelsea have come out tops. So I believe your good manager has tried to study how Chelsea has been able to play and try and counter that in the final. It's going to be a very interesting final, but my strong feeling is that Chelsea have a slight advantage.
Yeah. Maps. Let's get on to maps. The Zamjirian and Mfundis in that order. All right, who's your money on?
Man City.
Man City?
It's definitely Man City for me. Because, just like what Jerry mentioned earlier, they've been fighting for this trophy. Even when they've been knocked out in the last few years, Liverpool comes to mind. Son Heung-min versus Tottenham versus Man City. 4 goals in 21 minutes. All that springs to mind. They always give a really good account of themselves. And I would say I don't want to undermine any of Chelsea's wins against City, but they've never really faced the full team he's using at this point. So they've had 2 chances, 2 auditions. And I just really feel the strength of City will come to the fore at this point. They've got really, really, really slick and good players in Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez. Too many people that can change the game. However, it is a final. I'm just looking at it from a player-to-player point of view. And Pep is a master tactician. He's only lost 1 of his last 15 finals. His last being a Copa del Rey loss against Jose Mourinho's Real Madrid in 2012. But I really do see City coming full throttle for this Chelsea side. But they are a good team. They are really hard to play against. The formation is hard to play around. If N'Golo Kante isn't there, it becomes really, really difficult. He might stifle Kevin De Bruyne on that day because he is that world class. He's everywhere. He managed to stifle a Real Madrid team full of world class stars, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, and Casemiro single-handedly. So if N'Golo Kante is on his game and Timo Werner, Christian Pulisic come to the party, well, it might just be another glory day like 2012 for Chelsea.
All right, Zamjirian, Emmanuel, Maps here tells us Guardiola has only lost one final against Mourinho out of the 15. What a record. Could that stand against Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea this evening?
I think this game comes with very, very easy analysis. In boxing, they say styles make fights. It's very possible that, yes, Chelsea lost to Aston Villa on the final day, but Chelsea just know how to beat Man City. And we need to understand this. Not that they're a better side, not that they have more talented players, but styles make fights. There is no way I could possibly see Guardiola, who hasn't been in the final for so long, not get a little nervy, because Kante, this is what Kante does. Kante is like a Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's favorite or best line is every boxer has a plan till they get punched in the face. Kante would disrupt every plan you have ever had. And once you can shut down Kevin De Bruyne, like, in a real shot at Bruno Fernandes, it's done. Because Chelsea have the counter-attack to beat any side. And we can see that with Real Madrid. Once they get you on the counter, Timo Werner starts running, Kai Havertz gets the ball. Ziyech is in his form. Mason Mount, who is very underrated in my books, gets the ball as well. It's done. Now, unfortunately, my brother is a Chelsea fan. And he was the first person to text me and say, not good. So I would hate Chelsea to, in fact, I'm praying that Man City win. But honestly, when I look at this game, it's simply styles make fights. And Chelsea actually are favorites with the way they play Man City. There's no other team I have seen give Man City problems like Chelsea does on a consistent basis.
I love the parity in your analysis to that of Maps. Interesting. All right. Now, I don't know who to believe between Maps and the Zamjiri. Help me. Who do you believe between the two?
Sure, it's very difficult. Both of them are trustworthy. He's a lawyer and he's a Christian brother. And so it becomes very difficult to choose between the two of them.
The two of them.
Obviously, I would want not to believe the Liverpool fans. But then let's get this out of the way. Well, Oscar, we have two names for you.
There's Christabel.
Christabel, that is done and dusted, because when you're in a forum like this, you also have to respect seniority. And the chairman, did push through that name. He's my big brother. I take off my hat to him all the time. Sometimes we have those little differences on set, but that's what makes football. But due respect to him, he's a believer as well, just like us. So the two names are Yada, Christabel Mwansa.
Wow. A round of applause.
If you want to put it, we'll get from him. Yes, because how special you are. If you want to give us a Nigerian, it has to come from your mouth. Because it's been very special that you're even putting her on the t-shirts. And if people can tap in. So we want to tap into that anointing by getting, if it's a Nigerian name, we have to get your mom's name. And that this young baby that has been born today, the baby girl, would even be greater in terms of the charity works, the philanthropism that mom showed. In Christabel Yadamansa, it will be more. Christabel means beautiful crust follower. That's what it means.
That's what Christabel means.
Exactly.
I didn't know.
Crust follower. So in crust, there's crust there, isn't it?
Yes.
So crust, beautiful crust follower. Then you have just used to praise or give thanksgiving to God. And I know one so that you have had some tough times. But
like
I said, you are a beautiful crust follower. God has given you that baby, and you ought to give praise and thanks. So that baby is Yada Christabel Mwansa. And the Nigerian name?
Yemisi.
Meaning?
She's like God's own,
God's own. There you go. Wow.
Yemisi.
So Yada, Yemisi, Christabel, Mwansa. Wow. YYCM.
Wow. I wanted to say something.
Woman now will be different.
Woman will be different.
Woman now will be different.
Okay. So you wanted to say something as Mfundisi comes in?
Yeah, like you normally say, Lorenzo, that it's not blood and waters that has revealed this to you.
Yes. Flesh and blood.
You remember that you normally say?
Yes, I remember it. Yeah, flesh and blood has not revealed this unto you.
So Y-E-M-I.
That's it.
Okay. All right, Mfundisi, I wanted you to separate the two gentlemen in maps. Yes. Maps and the Zamjiri.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Lorenzo, firstly, I think that Pep Guardiola, like the record has been put across, speaks for itself in terms of, because you see, when you come into a final, there's a lot of pressure. And it's the managers sometimes that will change things. We spoke about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a lot more earlier, and him failing to manage in those big games. And Pep Guardiola, in these big games, he seems to get them right. And then Thomas Tuchel has come at Chelsea and changed almost everything in terms of their style of play. But I think that Manchester City may hold the slight advantage given the experience of their squad. And they have, in my opinion, a subplot in Sergio Kun Aguero. I don't know whether he's going to start or he's going to play a pivotal role, but this is his final game. And if I were Guardiola, probably I would, to be a last row of the dice, if you like. You tell him to say, can you give us a last, hurrah, if you like. And probably he would give everything in that particular game to go on a high, even as we understand he may be headed to the Camp Nou. But then this is a very difficult final to call, to be very honest with you. It's a very difficult final to call. But for those that go to Bombonera, Abu Dhabi. So you might vote all the time. But for those who go to Abu Dhabi, if I were them, probably I would put my money on Manchester City.
Okay. That should be a clue enough for them. All right. Pick of the week. Look out for the weekend. Let me start with Jerry. 30 seconds, Jerry. Jerry, are you still with us? Kindly unmute your microphone. Okay, we don't seem to get any feedback. Chair, pick of the weekend, look out for the weekend.
Yeah, my pick is, the 36-man provisional squad that Micho has called into camp. You remember we've got, 3 games, international friendly games against Senegal, against Niger, and against Sudan. I want to believe that he's left out, the Australian-based, even, Fashion Sakara, the Scotland, bound player. He's opted to, pick up others. I think those that have been picked, this is a moment to be able to prove that they deserve to wear the colors of the Zambian flag. Now, looking forward, French Open is opening tomorrow. That's the Roland Garros. Will it be, Novak Djokovic or Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal? Remember that the 3 have been placed in the same group, which means it will be tough. So it means 2 will have to go out at some point, and only 1 will have to remain. Or do we have a new champion at French, Open this time around?
Excellent.
So that's my pick.
Awesome.
Roland Garros.
Thank you, Chair. Jerry, your mic is unmuted now. Your pick of the weekend, look out for the weekend.
Pick of the week must be the Europa League success by Villarreal against
yeah, this one deserves a round of applause. I've never given a round of applause.
11-10.
That should be the pick of the week.
The Champions League final that's being played today.
Okay, that's the lookout. Okay, excellent. All right. Who else gives us a pick of the week? We only have 1 minute.
Let me
All right.
It won't be a pick of the week, but a pick of the month. Lorenzo, in this month, I have a whole lot of family members who celebrate their birthdays.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah. My wife, my young brother Moinya, one of my nephews, Chibwe, my niece Cecilia, my young it's a lot. I can't mention all their names. So
this is catching up with you.
Yes.
Now.
No. It's not that age is catching up with me. There are a lot.
Not even me. I'm forgetful.
There could be about 6 or so. So to all of you who celebrated your birthdays this month, all of you, my family members, I salute you. I thank you for being part of my life, and thank God that indeed this is a special month for all of you. And we pray that God Himself can bless you abundantly and add many more years to your lives.
Can we also say thank you, Lorenzo, to Oscar for honoring backpage, because this show is about the people, and for him to come and say, please name my newborn baby. That's honor and respect that has been given unto us. Because most of the times you'd say, go and speak to the father or the grandfather for the name. So Vashi Yada Christabel
Oscar
Mwansa, Oscar Farren Mwansa, we are grateful for the honor.
Grateful.
God bless the family. God bless the little baby. And we will, in time, send a gift as well for the honor that you have given unto us.
Absolutely.
Because that's the way we do it in our African tradition. We also send a gift as a way of appreciation. Bashi Yada Yemis Christabel Mwansa. We're grateful.
Awesome, great stuff. It's mejores amigos para siempre. At this juncture, gentlemen, we have to shout and say,
Lights out.
Lights out.
Lights out.